Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at multi-forms within our Windows form project. So we're going to open up one form and then we're going to do some selection here. We're going to do a login and then we're going to go to our main form based on our login information. So the first thing I did here, I did a little pre-work. I dropped my controls on the form, created this login button, changed the name, created the function, some of the basics, added some data to my combo box here, 3 selections, and I think that's all the pre-work we did for this. Renamed this item too. And now we can use these controls. So the first thing we'll work on is this form itself. What we want to do with our form is we want to read the combo box. So I'm going to put everything in a try-catch block here. And inside my try-catch block, let's first user type combo box user selected item to string. So this will read my combo box value, these values right here. So it's going to return a string and it'll be exactly this. Be careful not to put any spaces after your editor here, or you'll have to put that in your code. So yeah, my user type will be one of those 3 values. It could also be a 4th value, which is none, which is what our catch block is going to handle. So if they don't select anything, say please make a selection here and return. So this is if they don't select anything. This is if they do select something. And then we're going to use a simple little switch statement, and it's going to take this value here, user type, and then we're going to look for those 3 specific instances. So we can copy these to be super precise and bring these over, and in front of them we're going to do case and then colon, case, colon, and these need to go inside of quotes. My other IDE lets me do that, but I can't do that here. So now we're pulling the exact string, and then we need a default case too. And our default case will just be something like invalid, right? We should not hit that, but if we do, at least the user will receive a message. And then here we're going to use our user class, which we've gone over in previous videos. If you haven't seen those yet, just keep an eye on the general flow of the program here. Each user has its own built-in rules, and right now we're letting whoever opens up the program choose whatever user they want to be. Later on, obviously, if you started implementing this live, you wouldn't let the user choose which user they are. You would choose which user they are when they sign up for your program. But that's what we're letting them do for right now, just to test our code out, test out the logic, and then we can work on that other logic later. So for now, first we need to create this we're going to create a logged in user here. We can put this inside our button click. Doesn't need to be outside of that. We need to take the word public out now. So it's undefined, that's fine. And then we're going to define it here. If it's logged in user, if they select librarian user, we'll do librarian user here. We'll just say the username is the user type for now. And then we need break statement. And then we're going to do the same thing for these with one change. Oops. Just removing some spaces here. We're going to use a regular user here, premium user here. I guess we can update this too. So this will now create that user. Now we have a logged in user. Oh wait, we do need that public class or that public property, because we are going to read this variable inside our next bit of program flow. So now we have this user form, but our program, our login form, our program is using user form right away, so it's automatically opening this form. That was not the designer. It's automatically opening up the other form right here, this one. But we want to now open up login form. However, we don't want the application to run that form. We just want to first show this form when the user opens up the program when we start. So the first thing we'll do, I'm going to actually undo that. This is what our final form, our final code will be here. So we're going to do a using statement. Login form. So we're going to build this form right here. Perfect. And let's put that in scope block. And then we want to assess if the user properly succeeded with the form. So we're kind of now they don't click OK with our form, but we're kind of mocking that, right? So we're going to mock that down here too. In our previous code, we're going to say that the user clicked OK. And then we're going to close this form. So we're going to close this form. Well, first we're going to say the user clicked OK, and then we're going to close this form. So we will show this form immediately when the program runs. This is the first thing that shows up to the user. And if they click OK, which we're mocking here down here, if OK appears, so after they click the login button, if this line of code runs, it won't run if something bad happens because we return. We're going to return before the user clicks OK. But once eventually they click OK, then this statement will be true, and then it opens up the user form. Now, the important way to send information to the user form, we need to grab which user they've logged in as. So that's going to be from our login form. And our logged in user, that's the property up here. So we're going to grab this piece of information. We've made it public. We're going to grab that, and then we are going to send that in to our user form. Logged in user. Now I haven't added that parameter yet. Oh, we need to sign. We haven't added this parameter yet, so the constructor is not happy. but that's the next thing we'll fix. But this is all we need to now first open up the login form. So we're going to open up the login form first right here. Wait for the user to reach this line of code, which they will if they properly use the combo box, and then press the login button. And then we're going to send that information to the user form right here. So now our user form constructor here needs some information about that. So we'll use some dependency inversion. We have this logged in user. I'm going to add a field here, private user, and then underscore for the field here. And then we're going to assign that value to the parameter we just sent in, which is logged in user. So this will be premium, regular, or librarian user getting assigned here. And then we'll send that into the library book manager. And then the library book manager will also, through dependence inversion, will be able to tell us if the user is allowed to reserve a book or not, using the logic that we've built in the past. And one other important detail here will be, we should have made this code happy. Am I missing? Oh yeah, that's not supposed to be new. That's supposed to be this right here. So yeah, now we're sending in this form. Earlier I was building a new one. Now we're sending this form in. And we're going to need to use this user variable inside here. We're going to send the user variable inside of here. And so to do that properly, we need to initialize this in our constructor. And then this will not be initialized outside of our constructor. And then we're going to send in the user. We'll send that in. We'll send it in as our first parameter. And now it's telling us our constructor isn't built yet, but this is our last step here. So now our library manager is ready to accept that variable. And it's going to come in right here. And now we can undo this value right here. And we're going to make this variable private, read only. And rather than hard coding it and predefining it, we are going to use this variable here that we've sent in from the login form to the user form to our service function here, our service class that's going to perform the logic of the program. And the last thing is I put an underscore because we're using a field here. So all these three use cases of user need to also have that underscore. That was the only change we made there. So this should allow us to first log in, see our login screen, and then, yeah, so login form opens first. Let's log in as a regular user. We check out this book, and we're not allowed to check out anymore, as you can see. We can turn off that method that's giving us the display there. But that showed that we logged in as our user, specifically the regular user, which had the rule of only being able to check out one book. We could try out premium user too. The librarian user is allowed to check out as many books as they'd like. So we're going to hit a limit here soon. There's our 5th book. Let's try to take another one. And we're not able to add our books. So we can see our rules are being implemented correctly. So that's a quick rundown of using multi-forms to kind of set the program flow, and also using a combo box, switch statement, and modifying our main function, our program main function here, to send information all the way down through dependence inversion. And then this library book manager will work with multiple users and perform the logic that we've built in our user class. So that's all I'm going to cover for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.